their fold and bring the glories of the stars into the hearts of men. Notice on the Sgt. Pepper's album, we see a sorceress adorned in scarlet and with precious stones and gold and pearls. Perhaps the best example to date of the evil and destructive fruit of Aleister Crowley's satanic teaching of do what thou wilt is Charles Manson.
If I started murdering people, there'd be none of it left. Because my children are coming. My children are coming.
Charles Manson, the world's most notorious mass murderer, was influenced both by Aleister Crowley and the Beatles. The Manson family, as they would butcher Sharon Tate and her baby and several other people, would paint the words helter-skelter on the inside of the houses with the victims' blood. Susan Atkins stated that Manson would use the Beatles' albums to encourage them to murder.
Charlie played the Beatles' White Album incessantly. He would show us how they switched the word out to in when talking about destruction and how they were encouraging the revolution.
Susan Atkins, who was convicted of 8 of the Manson family murders, told me in our exclusive interviews that she remembers Crowley's name coming up when she was in the Manson family.
I remember Aleister Crowley's name being brought up when I was part of Manson's family. Manson's philosophy, like Crowley's, was do what thou wilt.
Carl Raschke, in his book Painted Black, states, quote, "It is known that Manson had a close association with the remnants of Crowley's organizational structure, the OTO, in Southern California." Manson's music was filled with Crowley's doctrines for the new eon, as he sang about free sex, drugs, mysticism, revolution, and about doing your own thing.
You can do what you want to do, 'cause you're strong in your mind.
While Charles Manson is in prison, Crowleyites like Marilyn Manson are not. Marilyn Manson is reported to have declared, quote, "Even Christ wouldn't kill himself for this pitiful America that hides under Christian values. It is time for their world to be destroyed. It is time for a new age, the age of Horus. We must forget this wasted generation and amputate it before the mind rots away with it." Sadder still is that while Charles Manson was only able to influence a relatively small number of people through his music to live wicked and destructive lives, Marilyn Manson is influencing millions of people. Marilyn Manson was reported to declare, "When we reach the age of reason, the age of Horus, we can no longer be what our parents, our God, our society would like us to be. Maturity, sensibility, rebellion. 15, this is when we fall. This is Lucifer." While many people are not surprised to see men like Charles Manson and Marilyn Manson associated with Crowley Satanism, many people are surprised to find out that artists like Sting, yet another of the biggest artists of all time, is influenced by Aleister Crowley. Sting says of his tarot cards, "These cards were designed in the 1940s under the supervision of Aleister Crowley. They're quite stunning. Crowley was known in his lifetime as the evilest man on earth and the great beast." Sting has not only admitted being into Aleister Crowley, but has stated that Aleister Crowley's death card is his favorite card. The death card is a grim reaper who is also understood to be an agent of Satan or a representative of Satan himself. Sting says, "My favorite tarot card is death. Oh, here it is. How strange death should be right on top. Anyhow, I find it extraordinary how strong are the feelings this card inspires in me." David Bowie has been called by Time magazine the most influential of all rock musicians. This is because David Bowie is considered the greatest trendsetter in the history of rock music. Bowie was the first glitter rocker. He was also the forerunner of punk rock and the first to release disco music. Bowie was also the first artist to announce to the media that he was involved in homosexual practices. David Bowie says when he is in Japan, quote, "All those little boys are so cute. I just want to take them up into my room." But few realize that David Bowie's success was a result of his Satanism. Bowie admitted, "My overriding interest was in Kabbalah and Crowleyism, that whole dark, rather fearsome netherworld of the wrong side of the brain." Bowie declared, quote, "Rock music has always been the devil's music. You can't convince me that it isn't." Bowie seems to believe that rock music is Satan's vehicle to usher in Crowley's dark satanic age. Bowie declared, quote, "I feel that we're only heralding something even darker than ourselves." He said, quote, "I believe that rock and roll is dangerous. It could well bring about a very evil feeling in the West. That's where I see it heading, bringing about the dark era." Bowie has also been known to draw satanic pentagrams on his walls and make hexes. In Crowley's book, Gems from the Equinox, Crowley instructed his disciples on how to invoke satanic powers. Here we see a picture of Aleister Crowley with a wand. Crowley taught that one was to use this wand and point to the 4 points of the compass to invoke satanic powers.
Hail Satan!
Hail Satan!
Shemham Farash.
Shemham Farash.
Hail Satan.
Hail Satan.
Crowley influenced Anton LaVey taught his satanic disciples in the Satanic Bible to invoke Satan by doing the following. He wrote, turning counterclockwise, the priest points with the sword to each cardinal point of the compass and calls forth the respective princes of hell, Satan from the south, Lucifer from the east, Belial from the north, and Leviathan from the west.
Satan. Lucifer. Belial.